Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Narrow Forward.
Oh shit! What?
No way! Hey, did it! Oh shit! Hey y'all, welcome back to Narrowboard MMA podcast. I'm your host, George, with my co-host here,
Jason.
And today, guys, we have something exciting to talk about for you. This trilogy for the main event for UFC 286 is something that's been such a wild ride, bro. First fight, these guys were rising up incomers, right? Kamaru takes the dub, and then from there, he goes on to greatness. Leon Edwards is slowly working on the background, getting denied title shot after having a great win streak, great wins, but having almost the worst luck, being considered by the fans to be a terrible fighter, a boring fighter, a dude from the trenches, but no one respected.
Yeah.
Finally, bro, the second fight comes after after Kamaru's had his reign of greatness, where Kamaru was about to be considered at the time, remember, the greatest of all time. And it's pound for pound.
Yeah, and he was gonna beat the record for most wins. He was going to tie Anderson Silva.
Yes,
for most welterweight wins.
He had so many accolades he was going if he had won that fight. But boy, little Leon that came from the trenches was waiting his time. Show that, hey, look, even at the very end when all hope is lost, bro. If you got the dog in you and you got a little bit of self-belief, you can make anything possible. And my God, Jason, I'm just reliving that night, thinking about it over again, how we were sitting here just going like, oh, it's hopeless, it's hopeless. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom. And
headshot dead.
Oh! He just knocked him out! Leon Edwards is the champ of the world! Holy shit! He fucking did it! He fucking did it! Oh! Oh my God! Holy shit! Oh! Oh! Dude, I'm fucking shaking right now, bro. I'm like,
bro,
holy fucking
shit. You should have saw what I just saw. Whenever that happened, I was Kamaru Usman. I was frozen. What? Oh my gosh.
Changed the world that night, bro. Insanity. Shocked the world. And guys are here to finally close it out. Was it a fluke? Was greatness just tainted that night alone? Or was this actually meant to be? And are we about to see a new rise of one of the best, probably a champion that could be as dominant as Kamaru coming up in Leon Edwards? Guys, I don't know, but we're here to talk about all that craziness for that main event. So Jason, bro, I'm going to start this off by telling you and saying that, bro, this is such a crazy fight because we literally went from the first time they fought from being a wrestler to a striker, going from a more even fight to a wrestler that's been winning with his strikes, is loving it. And then Leon, who went from like primarily an excellent technical striker to someone who's a more well-rounded mixed martial artist. Right. Then that second fight comes. Leon Edwards becomes a wrestler, gets the first takedown Kamaru Usman ever, right? Then Kamaru Usman was winning throughout that fight, doing what he does best. Let's begin right there, bro. Up until that final round, Kamaru Usman had those last 3 rounds in the bag, right?
And he banked on those rounds. Yeah, he was doing good, bro. He was wrestling, kept him on the ground, and basically, like his coach said, don't let him bully you. So he was getting bullied.
Yes, bro.
He wasn't throwing anything back, and we all just thought like, oh, this is Kamaru Usman doing his thing.
Yes.
What's gonna happen? Oh, here he goes, another Leon Edwards loss. But,
bro. But
hey, something happened in that night where some kind of spark was lit in Leon.
Yeah.
And he threw the combination that's the crazy thing. They were practicing this combination in practice.
Yes.
All like
it was on the embedded too.
They showed it in the embedded. It wasn't like it was a surprise, like, oh, let me just throw something. It was I need to do something to win this. It was like, throw the combination you've been practicing. They called it in while that 5th round was going. Yeah. The coaches were like, do this combination, Yes. Finally, he timed it properly, threw it. Headshot dead. Headshot dead. Like
headshot down. Look at me now.
Yeah, look at me now. Yeah, exactly, dude. And honestly, like, people say like, oh, it was just a lucky shot. There's been so much talk like about that, and we really are gonna see. Was it just a lucky shot? Yes. This third fight is going to really prove, like, hey, was that just a lucky shot? Was it just, just happened that Kamaru Usman, moved his head to the left, or was it to the left or right?
It was to the...
I can't think. I think it's to the right.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I think he dips his head... Oh, well, either way, it ended the night.
Well, yeah, either way...
Wait, was it a left kick? Then it was leaning to the right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was to the right. Yeah, it was to the right.
Yeah.
I still remember the combination.
Yes. Boom.
Yeah,
Headshot. Dead.
So
I love
dude,
saying that.
I know it's been the amount of times I've heard that, like, just that promo over and over again.
Yes, bro.
But dude, I think this fight is really gonna show, like, hey, you know, we saw Kamaru Usman dominating that fight, the second fight, and in this fight, we're really gonna see, did Leon Edwards just have a fluke win? And I also do want to say one thing. You know, there was a lot of talk about, you know, how the elevation of the Salt Lake City really had a play in this fight. In that second fight. And I honestly, I honestly think that is a play because
I remember about other fighters during that card too were complaining with the elevation and stuff
Luke Rockhold fought in that same fight, and what was it,
Paul Costa?
Yeah, Paul Costa. They were gassed out.
Yeah, by round 3.
That was a 3-round fight, and they were gassed out. So
I wasn't with Luke Rockhold. It's been a while, but Paul Acosta is like he has the momentum. He's usually very good in those like 2 and 3 because he's pounding it on.
Yeah, it's not like a 5-round fight. So so honestly, like, I want to that has to be a factor. It's not like an excuse thing. It's a factor because you're breathing harder. Yeah. It's not as easy for someone that doesn't fight in this kind of altitude. Kamaru Usman had no problem.
Yeah, because he trains at elevation.
Exactly.
And what he trains at elevation for is his grappling and fence grabs, the wrestling.
Everything.
Yeah. Right. So the whole thing, all the smothering, all that's at elevation, bro.
Yeah, so he's used to he can handle this kind of altitude and have no problem. But, Leon Edwards, he fights in somewhere where the altitude is only 100. Which is I think that's what he was saying in London or wherever, Birmingham.
Yeah.
So it is a factor. It's not an excuse. It's a factor, and it's not easy for someone. Even if you come 2 weeks in advance,
but when you're in the cage,
when you're in the cage, you got the adrenaline kicking. You're not gonna be able to. Your body's not gonna be able to adapt enough, right?
Exactly.
So definitely that was a factor because we saw it, dude. The second and from the second round to the 4th round, Leon wasn't doing anything really.
He was trying, but at the same time, when you're feeling that gassed out from the elevation, if we're considering that as a factor, which I agree it is a factor,
right?
Then obviously those wrestling exchanges that Kamaru's specialty at is going to take hold. And let's kind of go into the skill sets, bro.
Yeah.
Like now that we don't have the elevationer side, there won't now we can have, unless there's pre-existing injury or anything like that,
right?
Which we have to talk about as well. There's 2 or 3 things for Usman, right?
Yep.
Like, then all things equal, then we're going to have a very true understanding and true conclusion to this fight, right? Because now we have Kamaru Usman, who made his bread and butter with that wrestling, which I know he's going to still bring back because that's how he was winning the last fight as well. So we know he's going to find those grappling exchanges heavy. He's going to try to go for those, try to pull him down, go for the singles, definitely. Because again, it's weird because I want to see him go for the single legs, but that really takes on the form of when someone throws a leg kick. And I know if Kamaru Usman sees a leg kick, he's going to like, he's probably going to shell up.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's probably going to train that. He's going to be like, I'm never leaning to the left side. I'm never even going to turn left or right ever again.
Absolutely, yeah. I think one thing that I noted people were saying about him is that he was doing this a lot in fights before this too.
Yeah.
His hands and his hands are not what did I say? No, his head and his hands are not connected. Meaning sometimes he'll do this. Yeah. He'll do this. Like, they're not moving together. Yeah. Because you can't block. That's why he wasn't able to block that shot.
Yeah, and that's something fundamental in striking that. Like, when you first taught, it's like, always keep your hands up. And it's usually like, it's kind of, I wouldn't say common sense, but like, obviously you want to keep your hands there until you want to throw the strike, right? But you have some fighters like when Volkanovski against Islam, he put his hands down when he's confident striking, and he knows that it's easier to stuff a takedown. So in Leon's case, right, you know that if he's thinking about Kamaru's skill sets for wrestling and stuff, and I bet Leon's thinking like Kamaru Usman's going to try to make this a dirty decision in ground and pound,
right?
Because essentially because up until that point, Leon Edwards could grapple with him up until elevation hit, right? And then up to that point though, and until leg kick, it was Kamaru's game. So the question is, can Leon at elevation now, right, without the drawbacks, right? Is he able to handle the wrestling a bit better? Probably. He's going to get that first takedown. The question is, can he do in those later rounds?
Right.
Rounds 2 and 3, I think he'll have a better shot, but rounds 4 and 5, that's going to be a lot harder commitment, right? That's a lot harder commitment. And remember, this is a Kamaru Usman who's now this ain't a Kamaru Usman that's like, I got to think about the next title challenger after Leon. This is like, all my focus is on you. I need this back, right? So now we're going to have a more tenacious, probably more cautious Usman, but at the same time, someone who's going to be definitely going for the grappling because that was his bread and butter. He was winning during that fight because of that. I don't see why he would even... Yeah, he fell in love with his striking against Masvidal, but at the same time, Masvidal didn't have the same level. Again, Masvidal, I wouldn't say Masvidal isn't as cerebral as Leon Edwards is in the fight. I think Leon, that technique, that combination that landed the finish, that's something that you train and practice and have to look and key for, right?
Right.
Not that someone like Gilbert Burns or Burns did drop Usman, right? But that was just like a really good stiff jab combo, and we Masvidal was having some success in the hands up until the knockout happened. But at the same time, it's like Kamaru's now put in a position where he shouldn't be in the thinking about I gotta be better at you on what you do on the feet, like he was trying to do with Usman. I'm sorry, he's trying to do with with Masvidal and Burns and stuff, right? He's definitely gonna try to stick to like something that he knows is gonna keep him out of danger. You're definitely going to see him be a little more Khabib-like, trying to isolate those hands, so that way he can clear out the legs. And I think you can see there's a world where Kamaru Usman is going to be a submission headhunter. This is a very possible because he wants to make it decisive and clear.
And the trilogy and
in a way. So those were just my initial things on what Kamaru can bring to the table for this.
Yeah, no, I think I mean if you want to, since you said Kamaru, I can say some for Leon.
Yeah.
We saw that Leon can take Usman down.
Yes.
And I think, since this elevation and none of that should be an issue, I really think I think Leon Edwards should really focus on trying to take him down here and there too and mix it up too.
Yes.
Because if he was able to do that to Kamaru Usman like that, it wasn't like a complex trip, but it was just a really good trip.
Yes.
One that Kamaru didn't expect.
Yes.
And if Kamaru Usman is going to be just trying to wrestle the whole time, you might as well also try to take him down first, before even Kamaru Usman
establish that confidence. Yeah, exactly.
And I think that will be a really important game if Leon Edwards can do that. But then, like we said, the feet. I think Leon Edwards has everything, all the tools to be able to stand on the feet and dominate Kamaru Usman. Yeah. But you need to be careful because Kamaru Usman, maybe he's not the the best striker or not like a known striker. But he can take people out. He can take people out. We've seen it already.
Yeah.
So
damn, the Burns fight. Even though Masvidal was the most stellar thing, the Burns fights would shock me.
Yeah, right? The Burns fight
because we saw that fight against
jab, bro.
And then we saw that fight against Hamza against Burns, and you know how crazy that fight was.
Yeah,
and that was the decision.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is like. I can't blame Kamaru for feeling good about his hands, considering the record he has with them.
Right.
But again, we're going up a technical striker against someone that's fallen in love with his striking.
Yeah.
Those are two very different classes, bro. Yeah. There's someone who's like, I'm not saying Kamaru's an enthusiast for striking or a hobbyist for striking, because he was the champ of the world, right? But at the same time, if we're going to compare like whose bread and butter is whose, like it's clear that like for the Kamaru's path to victory to win is going to be what he knows best and what
wrestling.
Exactly, what he did to other strikers before, and I think, and again, another thing is also depending on who the ref is. The ref may not give that sequence where, hey, there's not enough activity, this is boring.
Right.
Stand it up. Who knows? They might have a shit ref. So Leon Edwards is gonna have to really make sure that like, okay, I have to be able to stand him up myself too. Not that he can't, but he really's gonna have to get work on that submission and wrestling defense as well.
Right. And also, like you said, we don't know who the ref is. In that last fight,
I'm pretty sure it was Herb Dean, right?
In the last fight it was.
Yeah.
If he had not, because there was a point in that fifth round where Kamaru Usman had him against the fence.
Yeah.
Could have just, rided him and just wasted time on the round.
Yeah.
If Herb Dean didn't separate them, this would have been a different fight.
Exactly. It would have been like, okay, Usman versus probably Hamza or Burns
whatever,
too, or
right?
someone.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that's another part that Leon Edwards needs to work on too. I mean, he probably did work on is, like you said, the wrestling defense, not getting getting stuck on the cage too long.
Yeah, bro.
Where he's just wasting time and just landing a few punches. Like that's kind of what happened in the last fight too.
Yeah.
So if that stuff like that happens in this fight, I think Kamaru Usman is just gonna do his thing and get the decision. Basically, what he did the last fight.
Yeah.
But make sure the head kick doesn't land this time, right?
Exactly.
So hopefully Leon has worked on those things. I think we should mention those injuries that you were talking about.
You're right, Jason. Bring it up, please.
So we know there was a factor where this fight wasn't even supposed to happen in March because Kamaru Usman did have some injuries in his arm, and he was wearing something on his arm for a while.
Yeah.
And it didn't even, I think even in January, if I'm not mistaken. Was January?
I don't remember exactly the time frame, but I know for a fact
he was wearing something for a while, so it didn't even seem like this fight was going to happen. And does that mean he's going to throw less in his hands? That could really be a factor in this fight where he doesn't throw punches as much.
Aside from the fact of our wrestling thing,
right? Even that could be even a factor why he doesn't wrestle as much too, because his arm is not fully there to grab and to hold, and So I don't know, that could be really interesting. Was there any other injuries that?
Actually, we know that his knees are still fucked.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah,
and that's one other point I wanted to bring up, the injury specifically, is because we know Usman knees have just been getting worse and worse. Mm-hmm. So this wrestling exchange is going to be a lot harder, and those leg kicks or oblique kicks that Leon Edwards could and probably will throw are going to hurt. If he was able to knock him out, you best believe those same level of force can be thrown into leg kicks. Mm-hmm. And if Usman is buckling into the center of the ring, how can you land a takedown on something like that or prepare for a strike when Leon Edwards can kick your legs up? That being said, if Leon kicks his legs in, there's also opportunity for Usman to grab it, throw another pipe for a single leg.
Yeah. I think these are these are things that Kamaru Usman should also worry about, because if he knows he has like weak legs, I'm assuming he's probably trained to, if he throws those leg kicks, go for the single leg and take him down. I'm assuming that's gonna. If they've done homework on each other, these are things that probably will happen in this fight.
Here's another X factor, because Kamaru Usman got knocked out. Khabib even said it too, like, you're not the same after that knockout like that, right? And how is Usman? I mean, I would hope that Usman's like, bro, like, I've done this so many times before, this is not going to be a problem,
Yeah.
But you never know how someone's going to feel in the ring when that first couple strikes hit, or God forbid he sees anything that looks similar to how he got knocked out last time, and he's gonna how he's gonna react to those situations,
I think, honestly, this, if anything. Well, the way I saw it was, I think Kamaru Usman is actually even hungrier.
Yes.
Because, there was something that he said during the press conference was, there's not that noise around being the champ and distraction. This time it was more, I get to focus on my training.
Yes.
And really put in that time. And I think it's a different kind of hunger.
Yeah.
Because before it was like, oh, I'm the champ. Like, and I don't know if he was saying something about, he was just kind of what did he say? He said something about when he was fighting people that there was like something inside of him that he only felt for certain people.
Yeah.
I think he said something about when he fought Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah.
And I
just like a fire?
Yeah, it was like that's what he was saying, like a fire, right? And he said he's feeling that for this fight. So I think that hopefully that will be turned on and we'll see something,
Oh, that would be crazy. He does a Jorge Masvidal style knockout on Leon.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So if what he's saying is true and he's feeling that fire, that hunger, it should be a really interesting fight to see.
Yeah.
And it won't... Either it'll be the same thing as the second fight and just decision win, or it could even be... I mean, I don't know.
You mean the first fight?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
the first fight.
Yeah.
Or it could be something even crazier. I mean, I don't know. But
that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. It could be, like Khabib said, where it's like I got knocked out. How is that going to be? How is he going to feel from that? Is that going to be a factor into this fight where he's, a little nervous and not as, in tune with his skills? Mm-hmm. That could play a factor, but also it could be, I got knocked out. I'm hungry. Like, I'm trying to go for the kill here.
Damn,
right?
Bro, yeah.
These are the two factors. These are two ways of thinking about it, and I don't know. I don't know which one we'll see. That's the thing.
All right, well, I guess we'll make this next part hard because we have to give a prediction now.
Oh, boy.
You guys,
go first, bro.
we gave the styles breakdown of each. Like we said before, the first fight they were both standard in their skill sets. The striker going up against the wrestler. Second time we have true mixed martial arts coming out with both fighters leaning in on what their opponent's skill set is and becoming new and better with it. Kamaru Usman over time with his categories of knockouts he's had, but also Leon with just developing his skill set over and capitalizing it, finally getting that first takedown in the second fight, as well as that knockout on the end of the end of the fight too. So now the question is, guys, how are we going to predict this? Well, guys, I guess I can start. Like I said before, Kamaru's path to victory is going to be what he did last time and how he dominated those last 3 rounds in the second fight. Mm-hmm. It's going to be that wrestling. That wrestling is going to be key, and we're gonna have to get prepared. It might be a very boring fight. Like, let's not forget, but up until that world-changing epic god tier S+ tier knockout, right? Then, but like I was saying before, with Kamaru Usman, if he's here to win, who cares what the audience thinks? London Crown's gonna boo him, but if your goal is to win, I don't blame Kamaru Usman for going that approach either, right? No. Again, in those later rounds, will his battle instincts come in, or will his pride come in and be like, I'm winning these 3 or 4 rounds. Let me try to go on the feet again. That's where he could go losing. And so honestly, if he keeps his plan consistent, becomes Dagestani for like this fight, he's going to have a better chance of winning. However, Leon Edwards doesn't have the elevation as a thing that's an issue, right? He's been better on all the aspects of the game when he's at elevation, and we've seen that in all of his fights. Right. The last time looks like he got rocked was against Nate Diaz on a lucky shot with like a looping punch that came out of nowhere. So as long as Leon Edwards is sharpen those things, as well as getting ready for a grappling or takedown, a fight that's going to be not just on the feet, but that's going to be it could be at any moment switch to the wrestling or grappling exchange. It's being ready for those little moments where like, hey, like I'm in the grappling exchange, I'm getting out of the clinch. Oh, he still has a hold of me and trips me. How are you going to prepare for that? And those little things like that, getting up against the fence. But again, like we said, if he doesn't have that, those elevation concerns against his side, those things, like we said before, could be a lot easier.
Right.
And then as well as the leg, Kamaru's existing injuries, let's give him the hands. Okay, sure. Unbelievable, but sure.
Right.
His knees are still an issue.
Yeah.
Again, if Leon Edwards can capitalize the thermal volume on the leg kicks, and despite the fact that he might get taken out 1 or 2 times, if he's able to make those leg kicks count, I think that we're going to have a much different, a fight where Kamaru Usman isn't leading the dance as we think he is.
Right.
Jason, bro, this is so weird for me to predict it like this. Guys, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and I'm okay with being wrong later on, which is lucky for me. I don't have money to bet on with anyway, so let's make that clear, right? But if I had to give official prediction, Jason, I think that the cards are way more stacked against Kamaru than it is Leon. And I think Leon Edwards gets the dub this time. I think he has the potential, if he's able to stuff those takedowns early on and get his confidence up. Yeah. This is crazy. I think Leon Edwards is such a good martial artist where he could do something crazy like reverse a takedown and get Kamaru's back if his wrestling has improved. Right. He was able to get him down the first time. Mm-hmm. If he's able to survive and establish that confidence early on to where he can catch Usman off guard on the ground. I'm talking about a similar situation where like Yuri Prochazka go over to Shera, where Yuri got that surprise like sub at the end. Right. I could see Leon either go for another decision win like he typically has, which is not a problem. I'm prepared for a boring fight on either side because Leon can just point fight and defend the takedowns. He'll have a better time with that. He can also go for another crazy knockout. He has the striking capability to do it and set it up, so that's not an issue. Right. And he doesn't have as much injuries as Kamaru Usman going to this fight. Right. So if he's able to avoid the wrestling and be cautious of the striking, because Kamaru Usman, you never know, man. Mm-hmm. Just because of that one strike that almost took Leon out with Nate Diaz, that same level of power and technique with Kamaru Usman is not even same technique is going to have more power behind it, which would definitely put Leon out if he was rocked like that. So I think though that Leon has more ways to win this just because of all the crazy factors of Kamaru never being knocked out. How he's going to react to that? Question mark. Double knees, bad, question mark. Hand injury, question mark. Okay, Leon Edwards doesn't have the elevation disadvantage. He's probably going to be a better fighter, probably. Yeah. There's a lot more things that for Leon to take advantage of rather than it is Usman. Yeah. That being said, the one thing Usman can take advantage of is that wrestling. And if Usman's able to get his takedowns in rounds 2 and 1, if he's able to get 1 or 2 takedowns in the first few rounds, and then able to capitalize later on. Again, like I said before, Kamaru can get it done easy because once he gets the first couple, he's just going to keep getting them over and over and over and over again. Yep. So can Leon get up from that? I think he's a better chance of getting up from them now if he's at elevation. Right. Or, not training. The fight has an elevation disadvantage for him. But again, Kamaru Usman was great for a reason. He rose to the title, to get the title multiple times for a reason. So exactly. I still think Leon Edwards has got it done. But this is, for me, just because of how great Kamaru Usman is, even with the injuries, it's more like a 51-49 kind of feeling, where it's like, hey, I either way, but I think Leon can get it done this time again. So and decision, I probably going to be a decision, but I want to say he gets like a 4th or 5th round submission. Leon, I think Leon is crazy enough. If he's able to knock out Kamaru Usman, then why not? Then why not, bro? Why not, bro?
I think, I guess, okay, wow, that's...
Also, I don't know if the hometown pressure thing is going to get to Leon, but... I
was going to mention that.
But I don't know. Oh, my bad, bro.
No, you're good. No, I'm glad you mentioned it. But that's another thing I was thinking about, too. There is that factor of that home
Does he have that Derek Lewis Houston curse?
I know, right? Does he have that Houston curse? Like, it could be a factor, man. You never know. Yeah. Just having all your family around, having to deal with that pressure of, like, people asking you for tickets. Like, yeah. I mean... I'm not saying every fighter is the same, so maybe it won't even be an issue for him. Maybe it's going to be a good thing. Like that light is a better thing for him. Yeah, having all the people cheering for you, that could be a good thing for him. Yeah, you don't know. I think one thing that the one thing that I was thinking about before was, the real question here is going to be, like you said, can Kamaru Usman take him down and keep him there? Yeah. If he can do that in those first rounds, it will be a long night.
Yeah. But which is kind of likely in some ways more than others.
It really is because, dude, usually when Kamaru Usman tries to wrestle with people, we have never really seen a problem except for like maybe Colby. Right? Yeah. That was probably the only time where Kamaru Usman doesn't really try to wrestle as much. But
Right.
anybody else, for the most part, he has not had it. Maybe also maybe Gilbert too. I don't remember him really taking him down. But other than that, like most Kamaru Usman, if he wants to take you down, he will take you down.
Right.
So it really comes down to, can Leon stay on the feet, do what he's supposed to do. And I just thought about what I was going to say before. In that second fight, Leon, even on the feet, when Leon wasn't really doing much, Kamaru Usman wasn't really able to land as much. He was able to block those shots.
Yeah.
That was Leon Edwards, where he was barely doing anything.
Right.
His worst night, right? His potential was worst night.
Yeah,
That's
he
what
said, yeah.
Like, where he wasn't doing anything. He barely landed anything. And he was, that was just him holding on, playing defense.
Right.
And then getting that shot, right? If that's what we saw on Leon's worst night, what are we really going to see on his potential, his best night?
Yeah,
right?
bro. He's freaking English amped. A champ now. Like,
right.
bro, what is that going to do?
We're going to, hopefully Leon is on confident level 100% here.
Yeah,
we're going to see confident Leon, hometown advantage, the champ, and still, this is all the stuff that he's been saying this week about being and still, winning the belt again and getting another headshot. He said something about that.
Yeah.
Wanting to get some kind of knockout or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I guess if I'm going into my prediction, bro. Dang, this is hard. I'm gonna go Leon Edwards.
Oh, the unison.
But I'm honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, even before even recording all this, I was gonna say Kamaru Usman.
Okay.
But I think just talking about everything just kind of made me like, you know what? Let's be
fair, guys. Comment. Do you think we're weighing too much on the elevations and the injuries on either side? Let us know.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I haven't fought anyone at elevation.
Yeah. So we don't know. We're not fighters, so we don't know.
Right.
So
right.
You guys have made that clear. Yeah. But like, see, the one thing I was thinking about, the reason why I even brought up the whole elevation thing was there is a point in that second fight where Kamaru Usman, it was like a delayed takedown. Like, he kind of like leaned in, and Leon didn't even react.
Yeah,
and he just got taken down.
Yeah.
So when I see things like that, I'm like, dude, the elevation really plays a factor. Okay, I might not have been a fighter, but I've been to an elevated, like I've been to Colorado.
Yeah, the elevation.
If you just even run for a little bit, you start breathing hard. I'm not saying I'm not a fighter. I'm not an athlete. Clearly, but when you're in that elevation, you breathe differently. It doesn't feel like you're breathing like in a lower elevated place. You can really feel it. So it was a factor in a way, and I think, like we've said, that's not going to be a factor this time. And we've seen what Leon does to people when there's no like those kind of factors involved.
Exactly.
When he fought Nate Diaz, when he fought any people that he's fought, he's shown that, like, yo, I'm dominant. Yeah. And even, he's had a tough rise to this place. He had to deal with COVID and not being able to fight.
Oh yeah.
He has a lot.
Having to fight Bilal Muhammad.
Exactly, and the eye poke. Dude, even in that fight, he was dominating Bilal. Yeah. So, and I really think, like, with that, he has a new level of confidence. He's in his hometown. He can get this done. Yeah. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a stoppage. Okay. I think it's gonna be a stoppage.
What round then? How and what round?
Well, you said two different ways, right? So I'm gonna say two different ways.
Okay, go for it, please.
One of them is gonna be like you said, decision. Mm-hmm. But I think it's gonna be a. Shit. I think it's gonna be a ground either. Okay, I gotta really have to picture this. Hold on. Let me think. How is this gonna happen? I think it could be like some kind of TKO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really think, because one thing I've noticed in Kamaru Usman's game is, like, when he gets flustered, he doesn't, like, his defense is kind of
yes,
we've seen that so many times, even like in the Colby Covington fights. Yeah. Like when he gets caught a little bit, like, he starts getting a little.
Yeah. I mean, the Burns fight too. He got caught. He got dropped. Exactly. Yeah.
So I really think if Leon can do what he is really good at with his hands, I think that could happen again in TKO. So
damn, bro.
If I'm gonna say a round, I'd probably say I'm gonna say fourth round.
Fourth round
TKO.
Okay.
Leon Edwards for the win. Hometown and still. So.
Oh, bet, bro. We both agreed on it. It could be a stoppage.
Yeah.
No decision. We both think it could be a late round stoppage, but how we think stoppage goes different. I, for some reason, am crazy to think he can get a submission, but hey, you know, does Justin Porter say he could use his jiu-jitsu? Or, you know, I think Jason, that's based on, though, with, you know, Leon's skill set, I think for the finish, that's probably more likely to happen.
Likely, yeah.
I'm just a crazy dude that wants to throw out crazy predictions out there. But hey, bro, Leon Edwards got it done last time, literally up until the last possible second.
Yeah.
So, honestly, is it crazy the fact he did that or my prediction? You let me know in the comments below. Mm-hmm. But, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Jason, you have any more thoughts on this fight before we, you know, wrap up?
Stay tuned, y'all, for this crazy. If this is a crazy fight, this reaction is gonna be.
Dude. I mean, I wish we would talk about more about the card because, like, the Justin Gaethje,
Rafael.
Oh my dude, God. No, Roman Dolidze versus freaking Marvin Vettori. Those reactions are gonna be sick, bro. I can't wait. So check those out when they drop live on the TikTok. On our TikTok channel when you get a chance. But obviously, when the main event comes through, guys, you're going to get a reaction for this fight as well. So, guys, I can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be so crazy to see how this fight's going to be. But, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching another episode of the Number One MMA podcast. We gave you our breakdown, our thoughts, and our predictions for this fight. Mm-hmm. So give us your thoughts on how this fight's going to go. Are you going to be crazy like me and predict that he gets a submission in the later rounds? Let me know in your comments below, guys. Do you think Jason's right, where Leon's going to be able to get a late round stoppage via a TKO or striking? Let us know in the thoughts below. What are your thoughts on how this fight's going to go and how the build up for this fight as well? And let us know on your comments below about the other fights in the card as well. We'd love to hear more about it so we can get this community going and engaged as well, guys. So, guys, I'm your host, George, my co-host here.
Jason.
Give this video a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more MMA content. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.
Peace.